Howdy. Welcome to Ausgrave Royalty. I am Justin. We are here with, I guess, part 4 of our series of Bolen's Gods and Goddesses. This is season 3 in our effort into archetypal psychology on the channel. Check out the previous 2 seasons for more context on that. We're going to be covering Athena today. And for newcomers, these videos are exploring Bolen's gods and goddesses that have to do with the Greco-Roman gods and the kind of qualities that they represent, and that Bolen articulates them as archetypes, as in psychological predispositions that we as humans have, that we share qualities that within ourselves that the gods and goddesses had in Greco-Roman mythology, and she's tying those in. And just want to note, she's writing in the 80s, so she'll use terms like patriarchy and feminism and all that, which probably meant something different then than it does now. But I'm not really, that's not a priority in these videos. Also, men and women, men can identify with goddess attributes and women can identify with the attributes of gods. So male and female doesn't matter. Through the anima and the animus, this is based on Carl Jung, we can know the contrasexual qualities. So men can know the goddess qualities, women can know the god qualities. So we're going to be using terms like she would do this or he would do that as this or that god or goddess, but it applies to both men and women. So also, last disclaimer before we get into it, is that we'll be talking about, we'll be saying things like the Athena woman or the Athena person or whatever would do such and such. We're not all dominated by one single archetype. She's speaking as if there were a person completely dominated. It's like a caricature, kind of. And with a model like that, we can then reflect on what qualities we have and don't have as compared to that kind of caricature of the goddess or god or whatever, so we can reflect on that. All right, let's see. I think that's all the disclaimers. So let's get into it. I have an obscene amount of notes here, so it's going to be interesting. I'll try and be as articulate and swift as possible. Feel free to replay the video if you miss something, and I probably should have organized better, but I didn't, so we're going to go with it. I think it's good enough. We'll see. All right. To help access the goddesses, Bolen lists an invocation for each one. For Athena, it's Athena, help me to think clearly in this situation. She says, Athena, goddess of wisdom, joined men as an equal or as a superior at what they did. She was the coolest head in battle and the best strategist. Her adaptation was identification with men. She became like one of them. This is in contrast to Artemis, the previous goddess we covered, who her adaptation was separation from men. Check that video out. Athena's way has been taken by many women who have joined the corporate world or who have succeeded at traditionally male occupations. She says the virgin and Athena is the second of what she calls the virgin goddesses. The virgin goddesses represent the independent, self-sufficient quality in women. Unlike the other Olympians, these three were not susceptible to falling in love. Emotional attachments did not divert them from what they considered important. They were not victimized and they did not suffer. As archetypes, they express the need in women for autonomy and the capacity women have to focus their consciousness on what is personally meaningful. Artemis and Athena represent goal-directedness and logical thinking, which make them achievement-oriented archetypes. Hestia is the archetype that focuses attention inward to the spiritual center of a woman's personality. These three goddesses are feminine archetypes that actively seek their own goals. They expand our notion of feminine attributes to include competency and self-sufficiency. So let's talk about Athena, the archetype. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes here. Okay. As goddess of wisdom, Athena was known for her winning strategies and practical solutions. As an archetype, Athena is the pattern followed by a logical woman who are ruled by their heads rather than their hearts. The concept of Athena as an archetype for logical thinking challenges the premise that thinking is done for a the Jungian premise that thinking is done for a woman by her masculine animus, which is presumed to be distinct from her feminine ego. When Athena represents only one of several archetypes active in a particular woman, rather than a single dominant pattern, then this archetype can be an ally for other goddesses. For example, if she is motivated by Hera to need a mate to feel complete, then Athena can help assess the situation and develop a strategy to get her man. In the midst of an emotional storm, if a woman can call on Athena as an archetype in herself, rationality will help her to find her or keep her bearings. The Virgin Goddess. The invulnerable and intact qualities descriptive of Artemis apply to Athena as well. When Athena rules a woman's psyche, she's like to resemble she, like women who resemble either Artemis or Hestia, is motivated by her own priorities. Trying to read my own notes here. Like the Artemis archetype, Athena predisposes a woman to focus on what matters to her rather than on the needs of others. Athena differs from Artemis and Hestia in that she is the virgin goddess who seeks the company of men. Rather than separating or withdrawing, she enjoys being in the midst of male action and power. The virgin goddess element helps her to avoid emotional or sexual entanglements with men with whom she works closely. She can be companion, colleague, or confidant of men without developing erotic feelings or emotional intimacy. The strategist. She was the biggest strategist during the Trojan War. Her tactics and interventions won victories for the Greeks on the battlefield. The Athena archetype thrives in the business, academic, scientific, military, or political arenas. Diplomacy, which involves strategy, power, and deceptive maneuvers, is a realm in which Athena shines. The craftswoman. As goddess of crafts, Athena was involved with making things that were both useful and aesthetically pleasing. This approach is an expression of the Athena archetype, which emphasizes foresight, planning, mastery of a craft, and patience. The father's daughter. As the archetype of the father's daughter, Athena represents the woman who quite naturally gravitates toward men who have authority, responsibility, and power. Men who fit the archetype of the patriarchal father or boss man. This would be Zeus, by the way. Kind of a Zeus guy. We check out that video as well. Athena predisposes a woman to form mentorships with strong men who share her mutual interest and similar ways of looking at things. She expects loyalty. Athena, women usually support the status quo and accept the established norms as guidelines of behavior. Such women are usually politically conservative. They resist change. Athena has little sympathy for the unsuccessful, downtrodden, or rebellious, unlike Artemis. The golden mean. When the Athena archetype is strong, the woman shows a natural tendency to do everything in moderation, to live within the golden mean, which was the Athenian ideal. Excesses are usually the result of intense feelings or needs, or of a passionate, righteous, fearful, or greedy nature, all of which are antithetical to rational Athena. Armored Athena. Athena arrived at, and let me interrupt here, when we're talking about armored Athena, cultivated Athena, these are just different dimensions of her. Like, there's Justin the human, Justin the mammal, Justin the 9-to-5 worker, Justin the YouTuber. These are just different dimensions of that. So just wanted to make sure that was clear. Armored Athena. Athena arrived on the Olympian scene in splendid gold armor. And in fact, being armored is an Athenian trait. Intellectual defenses keep such a woman from feeling pain, both our own pain or that of others. In the midst of emotional turmoil or hard infighting, she remains impervious to feelings as she observes, labels, and analyzes what is going on and decides what she will do next. Cultivating Athena. Women who are not innately Athena can cultivate this archetype through education and work. All education stimulates the development of this archetype. Learning objective facts, thinking clearly, preparing for examinations, and taking the tests themselves are all exercises that evoke Athena. Athena the woman. There's a certain type of stable and outgoing American woman who seems the best to personify Athena in everyday guise. She is practical, uncomplicated, unself-conscious, and confident. Someone who gets things done without a fuss. Young Athena. In an Athena child shares the capacity for concentration like a young Artemis, to which she adds a decidedly intellectual bent. The Athena girl is curious, seeks information, and wants to know how things work. Parents, as in parents of an Athena child. When an Athena daughter grows up as a favorite child of a successful father who is proud that she takes after him, he develops I'm getting mixed up in my notes here. He develops her natural tendencies. Such a daughter grows up secure and without conflicts about being bright and ambitious. As an adult woman, she even can be comfortable exerting power, wielding authority, and demonstrating her capabilities. When an Athena woman has a father who is very unlike Zeus, perhaps a business failure, alcoholic, etc., her Athena development is usually handicapped. Unless they themselves are Athena women, most mothers of Athena daughters feel unappreciated or feel as if their daughters are from a different species of being altogether. For example, any relationship oriented with women will likely find yourself lacking rapport with their Athena daughter. As a result of their differences, the Athena daughter may treat her mother as an incompetent. Adolescence and young adulthood. An Athena girl is much more likely to be interested in classifying a strange bug than to be alarmed by it. She might be enjoying various crafts, and she may share these interests with her mother or other traditionally minded girls with whom she otherwise feels little in common. She takes pleasure in the workmanship of what results. Hormonal changes hardly seem to affect such a girl's behavior or moods. She may spend her high school days with boys who are her intellectual equals. She may enroll in a chess club, work on the school annual, or compete in the science fair. She may like math and excel in it, or spend time in chemistry and physics or in the computer lab. Socially aware, extroverted Athena girls use their powers of observation, noting what to wear and what social alliances she should maintain. Athena women plan ahead. Most give considerable thought into what they will do after high school. Even if her family cannot help her to go to college, she will usually find a way to work her way through with scholarships and financial aid. Athena women choose co-ed educational schools because of their compatibility with and high regard for men. Work. The Athena woman tends to make something of herself. She works hard toward that end, accepts reality for what it is, and adapts. Does The adult years are usually productive for her. If she marries and runs a household, she is usually an efficient manager. Whether, for example, shopping, laundry, or housekeeping, she has a system that works. In the kitchen, for example, everything is in its place. The Athena woman can be a superb teacher. She explains things clearly and well. If the subject requires precise information, she's likely to have mastered it. The Athena teacher is likely to be one of the most demanding. She is one of those who no excuses teachers who expect to get maximum performance. She does not fall for sad stories or give unearned grades. She does best with students who challenged her intellectually. She favors the students who do well and spends more time with them than with those who fall behind, unlike a maternal Demeter teacher, who we'll get to later, who gives more of herself to those who need the most help. Relationships with women. An Athena woman usually lacks sorry, I'm reviewing my notes here. Sorry. An Athena woman usually lacks close friends, a pattern that may have been noticed around puberty when she did not form best friend bonds or even before. Concerns about boys, sex, and drugs are the primary anxiety for some girls. All are topics to discuss with friends who have similar concerns, not with an unromantic observer or skeptical rationalist such as young Athena. As in the myth, if the Athena girl's lack of empathy does not kill her potential for friendship with other girls, Athena's need to win will do so. In real life, a woman friend may become appalled with her when her Athena companion forgets the importance of their relationship and instead concentrates on other things. Sometimes even there's even deception, revealing a side of her personality that kills the relationship, that kills the friendship. The sisterhood is a foreign concept to most Athena women. Relationships to men. The Athena woman gravitates towards successful men. She has a keen ability to spot winners. She's attracted to power, either seeking it herself, often with the help of an older, successful male mentor, or more traditionally as a companion, wife, executive secretary, or ally of an ambitious, able man. For Athena women, power is the best aphrodisiac. For Athena women, tender-hearted, neurotic, or sensitive are adjectives to describe losers. When it comes to men, only heroes need apply. This sounds like what Richard Cooper talks about in The Manosphere, that women don't care about your struggle. They just wait at the finish line and pick the winners. Kind of reminds me of that. Sexuality. An Athena woman lives in her mind and is often out of touch with her body. She considers the body a utilitarian part of herself, of which she is unaware until it gets sick or hurt. Typically, she is not a sensual or sexy woman, nor is she flirtatious or romantic. She likes men as friends or mentors rather than lovers. An Athena woman often stays celibate for long periods in her adult life while she focuses on her career. Marriage. An Athena woman's marriage is likely to be a companionable partnership than a passionate union. Chances are she has sized him up accurately, and that they are quite compatible. She is his ally and helpmate, a wife vitally interested in his career or business, who will map out strategy with him on how to get ahead in his work if necessary. Communication between the Athena wife and her husband about events is usually excellent, but communication about feelings may be particularly non-existent, either because, like her, he disregards feelings or because he has learned that she does not understand feelings. I gotta interrupt myself here. I put out a video relatively recently on White Lotus season 2 and how there's archetypal elements in that from that show. And Aubrey Plaza's character, Harper, I think her name is, really reminds me of the epitome of this Athena woman. Children. As a mother, the Athena woman can hardly wait for her kids to grow up to the age where she can talk to them, do projects with them, and take them to see what there is to see. The Athena mother shines if she has a competitive, extroverted, intellectually curious son. They are her budding heroes in the making, who are drawn to her ability to advise, teach, inspire, and exhort them to excel. She's apt to reinforce stereotypical male behavior in her sons, giving them the strong men don't cry message. Athena mothers also do well with daughters who are like them, the independent ones who share their mother's logical approach to things. Such women can be role models and mentors for daughters who are like themselves. However, with a traditional daughter, an Athena mother does less well. The daughter feels an emotional distance and senses that she is not valued as she is. Her practical mindedness also makes her impatient with a dreamy child who fantasizes. And an Athena mother expects her children to do what is expected of them, to rise above the emotion-evoking events in their lives, and to be good soldiers, as she is. Middle years. The Athena woman often finds the middle years to be the best part of her life. With her ability to see matters as they are, she rarely has illusions to be disillusioned about. If all goes according to plan, her life unfolds in an orderly fashion. However, midlife for an Athena woman can unexpectedly turn into a crisis. Emotional chaos may intrude on her orderly life. She may find herself in the midst of a marital crisis, which can shake her equanimity and expose her to deeper feelings. Often her husband's crisis instigates hers. The companionable marriage, which has been a successful alliance for both, may now be unsatisfactory for him. He may now feel the lack of passion in his marriage and may feel himself drawn to another woman who stirs him romantically and erratically. Later years. The Athena woman changes very little over the decades. She remains throughout life an energetic, practical woman who pitches in at home and at work, and then often is a volunteer in the community. She is a supporter of traditional institutions, most likely fairly conservative ones. When her children grow up and move away, the Athena woman does not mourn an empty nest. Now she has time for more projects, studies, or work that she enjoys. Usually her relationships with her adult children are amiable, because she has encouraged them to be independent and self-sufficient and has neither been intrusive nor encouraged dependency. Most of her children and grandchildren do not have problems with her. They usually respect her and often like her. I'm running out of time. So there's more to say, but I want to skip to my reaction, and then I'll come back to some other notes on her if I can. So my reaction to Athena. I think I've met somebody like this, and I've already mentioned Aubrey Plaza. If that's I might be butchering her pronunciation, but I used to work with somebody like that. Someone, very attractive, very capable, very clever, and had like an air of innocence about her, but was also highly aggressive, but also charismatic. There was like an impervious quality to her, hard to explain. And that, like the armor, the golden armor aspect that Bolen described, I think she's the person I have in mind was like that. She Um, she was once like showing me around the workplace how to do things, and she was one of the top people at the workplace. And our boss interrupted and told her to do such and such. She obediently replied that she would get right on it, and then turned to me, grinning mischievously, and grabbed my shoulder and leaned in close and said, "So we're not going to do that, by the way." Later, the boss confronted her about it, but she, like, shit just doesn't stick to her. She got out of it without breaking stride. And this boss was a particularly troublesome micromanager as well. We remain friends to this day, although we're not close. All this being said, I would never say I felt close to her. It may be a reach, but I think, yeah, like I already mentioned, like the armor, there's kind of like a, I don't want to say sociopath quality, but like definitely kind of an emotional distance, even having all those admirable qualities. But I did get the distinct impression that like during a zombie apocalypse, she would be very capable. Like I would love her, like have her as like a business partner in some venture, potentially. As far as these qualities in myself, like strategic thinking, I'm going to say the Athena is the goddess of being a systems thinker. Like Bolen mentioned, like if there's laundry to do or chores or whatever, everything is in its place. There's a system. Now, I wouldn't, in a way, I'd say I have systems for like that are conceptual and internal, not so much externally. I don't really care about messes or stuff like that, or keeping like everything immaculately clean. I have like a threshold, and then once it hits that, I do a deep cleaning, and then I go a long time without cleaning, and then I do a deep cleaning, and then a long time, and so on. But I do identify with Athena when it comes to like making electronic music or writing comedy bits or whatever, and I have links to all that below. I do joke videos every Sunday on the channel. I've had some history in stand-up comedy, and I've also made electronic music, and I have a link to my SoundCloud. And I have a video on my experience making music if you're interested in that. But with music and composing it, I would often spend 90% of the time creating a system to create tracks versus actually being in and creating the track itself. So I understand, even with this YouTube channel, like I have a system. I record all my videos for the season all at once in like the span of a week's time. Like it's February now that y'all are watching this video, but I'm recording this December 18th, 2022. And then I schedule them to release in the future. That's so I can do other things as my content's being released. That's the system I came up with for me. And it's that kind of strategic thinking that I identify with Athena. In our last couple of minutes here, Bolen mentions that there's psychological difficulties with Athena, that, again, being emotionally distant and manipulative and kind of sociopathic in a way. She notes a Medusa effect. In Athena, a woman has an ability to intimidate others and to take away the spontaneity, vitality, and creativity of people who are not like her. In mythology, Medusa turned people to stone. She kind of just all work and no play, basically. And a way to grow, Bolen says, is to incorporate some of the other goddesses. Turning inward, being more motherly and caring, valuing relationships, and all that. Anyway, we're out of time. I'll see you all in the next one. Comment down below how you identify, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.